Wow. This is literally unbelievable. I've never, ever heard anything like this before. So our friend Michelle is supposed to be flying into National Airport, Reagan National, which is the same airport that we had the helicopter fly into the plane coming in a few weeks ago. And I've pointed out that if you go to LBJ, Lady Bird Johnson Park, which is at the end of the runway, you can literally see the plane stacked in to go. And when you're taking off, you literally have to jump out into traffic, take off, and there's a plane coming in right behind you. There's a plane landing, they jump out into the traffic, they take off, and there's a plane right behind you. And it's crazy. And it's a very, very short runway, and it's acerbated because they can't fly over DC. It's actually in Virginia, right by the Pentagon. So you can't fly over DC. So you're either coming up the Potomac River or you're coming down the Potomac River to land there. And so her flight was supposed to be here at 3:30, and it kept getting delayed. And finally they said that they were gonna be in at 4:10 was the landing time. Of course, I'm there waiting at the airport for her. And I checked the flight status, and the flight status said diverted to Richmond International Corridor Airport, which is 2 hours south. And looking through the flight status and all this, it then was going through and saying that it was going to take off at 5:01 and be at DCA take off at 5 from Richmond and be at DCA at 5:01. And so I called Tracy. I'm like, Tracy, can you look and see if you can find out any information more than I can about what's going on? And so she tried to WhatsApp her to find out, what's going on, because maybe WhatsApp is working on the plane. And they just landed, not at National, not in Richmond, but Norfolk. If you know where DC is, which is across the river at the top of Virginia, where National Airport is, Richmond is in the middle of the state. Norfolk is the bottom corner. They diverted, and she said they literally changed the flight 3 times while they were in the air. I don't know what the hell's going on. This is crazy. So now I may need to drive to Norfolk to get her, or it may be that the flight comes tomorrow. She's supposed to leave on Tuesday. This is insane. Oh my God, this is just crazy. So I may have about 400 miles of driving that I need to do tonight. National Airport, I tell you, it's convenient because it's right there on the metro and things, but they've got so many flights and so much traffic that goes through it. Because what they told them is the airport was full. The airport's full. Now, I don't know if it's full because they had wind delays and that's why they sent them, but you are literally held hostage on here. And as soon as I find out more, like I said, I may be driving to Norfolk Airport from DC to get our friend. It's crazy. All right, so they have gotten to Norfolk and they've deplaned the plane, and now they're gonna have to refuel it and wait until one of the gates open up to fly them in to back to National. The thing here's what I don't understand is there's Dulles International Airport, which is a huge airport, and it's about 30 miles west from DCA. Wouldn't it have been easier to fly there than 200 miles south. But then again, what do I know? I'm just a guy picking up somebody at the airport. I'm not an air traffic controller or anything like that, but I will say the wind that is kicking right now, it's kicking. So yeah, it's not the best of times weather-wise. It's warm. It's like 55 degrees, but we've got these big wind gusts that are just insane right now. So waiting to hear from her at what time it'll take back off and the expected time to land. The good news is a normal flight time from once you take off to land from Norfolk is about an hour and 10 minutes. It's literally like, I remember one time flying to Alabama and we had a layover in Norfolk. It's like you went up and you went down, and it was like literally under an hour. So we'll see. Okay, so the story just keeps getting crazier and crazier, because she said literally they changed airports like 4 times in the air. They got up and they told them, keep in mind, it's only an hour and 15-minute flight, or an hour and a half hour flight. They got up in the air and they said, oh, we're going to be diverting to Dulles Airport. And no, they couldn't go to Dulles. Then from there, they said, oh, we're going to be diverting to Richmond. And then they said, nope, can't go there. Then it was, we're going to be diverted to BWI, Baltimore. Nope, couldn't go there. And then finally went to Norfolk. So they're in Norfolk now, and they've had to deplane, and they're fueling up the airplane. And she was like, this plane is like a tin can, and she said it's been turbulence the whole way, that it's just been it's just a shaky flight. And I was like, I said, it's only 180 miles. I was like, I'll drive down there and pick you up, and then we'll drive to the Red Brick House. And she's like, no, just stay where you are. Hopefully they get out tonight. And I don't know if they will or won't at this point. It's they're waiting to hear. Basically what's going to have to happen is it's been windy, and I'm not trying to put blame on anybody or anything like that. It's one of those things. There's so much air travel, the traffic that's going through and everything else. I don't know how they figured this shit out, because now you got planes that are scattered all over the place that have to try and get in, and National Airport is one of those airports that it is a lot of traffic. And what happened is they allowed more traffic to come in and out of National because the congressmen like to fly in and out of there, because it's literally across the Potomac River from DC. It's literally 10-minute ride from the Capitol, and they want to be able to fly out of National to get back home real easy. They don't want to go elsewhere. So they allowed more flights to crazy destinations, from that airport, basically because of Congress. And when something happens, it just throws everything in chaos. And so when you start thinking about the airport that has a limited flight path to go in, you think about the amount of flights that literally go in and out. It's like every 30 seconds there's a plane landing or taking off, and they've got a short 1-mile runway, which is their main runway. And you've got the helicopter traffic and stuff because it is the nation's capital and stuff in there. It's just crazy. It literally is just crazy. So I'm in a holding pattern right now. I thought I would actually be back in Waynesboro by now. That when I would have picked her up at it's 3:15 when they were supposed to land here in DC. I thought that basically I would have picked her up and we would have gone to the Red Brick House, and I was going to be cooking some shrimp and grits for dinner tonight. But here I sit, waiting to hear if they're going to be taking off sometime tonight. So for all we know, it may be that they're not able to come in tonight. It might be tomorrow for all we know. So there's that.